Hey, Shalom Israel. First, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. I want to see Apostle Oscar Millstone, peace citation, one third elective Israel. And for this lesson, I want to title it, Who's to Blame for This? All right. And, it's on Instagram. And it says a complete list of bottled waters with fluoride, and you can read the list. And really, I was looking at the one I be drinking, as well as other bros. It's the Mountain Valley, the bottled water. It's the green bottles you see. But like, bro, that just goes to show you, like, no matter what you do, bro, no matter how many vitamins you take, blah blah blah, bro, this everything is defiled. And but it just goes to show you that we need the Lord. Like, there's no other way around it. Like, oh, I take this, that, and third. Like, bro, we need the Lord. Because even the vitamins you take is defiled. The water you drink is defiled. Oh, it's in a glass bottle. That shit is defiled. This has got fluoride, And, I'm assuming this is true because, like, Esau not going to tell you everything, you know. He's a fucking devil for a reason. All right, but this is why the Lord got to come back, destroy this devil, and reset the earth. All right, and that's that. All right, and going back to the title of the lesson, who's to blame? Who's to blame for all this? It's not the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, the Indian nigga, Elamites. Well, I ain't gonna say Ishmaelites because they got a part, but like, it's really the Edomites, bro. They're in power, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, So this devil got the power to do good, but he's not gonna do good because it's in his nature to do evil. He's to do wicked. He's the wicked, So this is why the devil, or Slack, this is why the Lord got to come back and take this devil down. All right, but let me get some scriptures going, and that'll be that. All right, but let me go to Ezekiel 4:13. It reads, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat the defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All right, and that's really talking about now because, throughout other captivities, like, you wasn't getting no fucking GMO shit. Like, you was getting real food, You was getting real food. Now we got to deal with fucking Kill Gates' fucking lab-grown meat. And this is like shit that they're like putting out and they're not telling you about, GMO meat, GMO food, canned food. Like, you wasn't talking about canned food in the ancient world, bro. So that just goes to show you, like, this is talking about now, all right? And fluoride in your water, like, whose genius idea was that? It's this fucking devil, bro. But this is all part of This is all part of his plans. When you read into the Georgia Guidestones, keep the population underneath 500 million. How you gonna do that? Well, guess what? You gotta pollute the food. Ramen noodles. Like, who the fuck is eating ramen noodles in the ancient world? No one's eating that shit. Everything we had was fresh. It's real food. Now you eating a bunch of chemicals, GMOs and shit. Like, and who's to blame for this? Who's behind all this shit? The so-called white man. I'm just gonna say how it is, and that's what it is it not? You can't blame the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans for it. We the one that gotta eat this shit. Why? Because one, we curse. We on the bottom. We if we could eat real food, we would, but this is all defiled because you damn Edomites, bro. But let me go to Isaiah 14. I don't intend for this to be too long. I gotta be up early. But Isaiah 14 and 5, it says, the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and it is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. And the feller's the one who cuts down trees. And who's doing mass deforestation? The so-called white man. Like, you don't hear about Jake. Yeah, let me cut down this tree. Jake don't do that shit, bro. Jake be chilling. You know, you read in Genesis, you know, Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Bro, Jake be chilling. Like, Jake is complete. Like, you know, you give Jake, you know, a woman, a PlayStation, and some good food. Jake, bro, you don't really hear shit from Jake. But this nigga Esau, he be venturing out. You know, look at fucking the cave shit, bro. You got Esau, you know, you got Edomites, you know, trying to discover caves and dying in caves and shit. Because they can't stay home. Like, bro, sit your ass down somewhere. All right? But it's okay. Like, when the Lord come back, you going to sit your ass down. You know, right now, you know, you fucking, you doing too much, bro. But it's all part of prophecy. All right? Because when the Lord come back, and, you know, when, you know, the Lord gave us power and dominion to reign over you devils, y'all niggas gonna be working for us, you know. Y'all niggas gonna sit the fuck down, all right? That's, you know, that's that. Slocky for my, you know, vulgarity, but, like, bro, it's shit vexing, like, for real, like, you know, you can't drink good water, like, you know, you was hearing about, oh, you know, don't drink the plastic water. Okay, you kind of thought it was, you know, that was that. But now it comes out, you know, you drinking the glass water, this shit is just as defiled as the plastic water, you know? So that's why the Lord got to come back and take you devils down. Simple as that. All right, but let me go to Romans 8 and 19. It says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. And, you know, ultimately the whole earth waits for the, you know, the elect of the nation of Israel, being when Yahushua, when you're on down, to come back and rule this earth in equity and righteousness. Because it's pure order. Everything is out of order. Everything is fucked up. All right, you got, bro, like, there's so many things I can name. It's not even funny. All right, but it says, for the earnest expectation of the creature waiting for the manifestation of Son of the Most High. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. All right, so ultimately the Lord, he created us to go off, you know, but this is all part of the movie. All right, so we can learn both, you know, good and evil, you know, because if you learn good and evil, that's the true power of a God. All right, but, you know, we learning good and evil, but we're gonna be all righteous in the kingdom. All right, it says, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And why is that? Because this damn devil is in power. He's fucking everything up. All right, you can't breathe clean air. You got fucking, you look up right now, there's some fucking chemtrails right now. Some damn streaks in the air and shit. You know, polluting the air with all different types of chemicals. Like, what genius thought about that? The so-called white man. Why? Because he's contrary to life. You know, his duty is to destroy life. His duty is to destroy you. All right? And all you Sambos out there trying to save this Edomite, well, guess what? You going to go out with this Edomite, you know? And then you're going to be reborn in the kingdom in your right mind. To show you how fucked up this nigga is. All right? But, you know, I don't mean slocky. I don't want to get too vulgar, but, you know, it's irritating, all right? But it says, let me read that. Slocky. Let me reread that. Romans 8:22, it says, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. All right, let's look at that word. Well, I already looked it up. But it says travail. It says hard labor, physical toil, a suffering or painful effort, all right? Torture, torment. It's like every day, bro. You gotta wake up at the ass crack of dawn to barely get some shekels. You know, you working your ass off to barely get by, living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you gotta pay for food and shit. Food is an arm and a leg. You know, you wanna get some drink? Well, guess what? That shit gonna fuck you up. Plus, you gotta pay your arm and a leg. Like, everything is defiled, bro. But, you know, it's a good thing though. You know, because as it says, Micah 2:10. You know, this is not our rest. All right, we weren't brought here to be comfortable. Micah 2:10, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction. So the Lord is showing us, this is not the way to be, this is not the way to live, but in the kingdom, bro, it's going as it reads right here. 1 Corinthians 2:9. 1 Corinthians 2:9, it says, but the Most High revealed them, Salakia. But as it is written, I had not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High prepared for them that love him. That love him. So, bro, it's gonna be blissful. It's gonna be none but euphoria. You can eat clean food. Even now, like in Babylon, this shit's all defiled, and you hear testimonies of people that eat food like outside of the country. It's like, bro, you eating food and you losing weight. Here, you got none but a lot. It's like you got nothing but a bunch of like big bone ass people, bro. Cause the food is defiled. Like everyone here is fat. The food make you feel like shit, but that's just what it is. Like that. That's why this Lord. This is why the Lord got to destroy this place. All right. So, Salaki for my stuttering and whatnot. But let me keep reading. It says, that's really that. But ultimately, this devil got to get taken down. There's no other remedy but the Lord to come back and destroy this devil, and reset this place. Set up a righteous order on the earth, and everything's gonna be good when the Lord come back. All right, that's that. All right, so. I don't want to draw this out too much. Hopefully this is well said and edifying. I'm going to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem,